Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing my April TBR video for you. I didn't have as good of a reading month in March as I had wanted to because I totally underestimated how much time it was going to take me to read The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. I loved it, so I'm really glad that I read it, but it took me a really long time to complete. So I decided that in April I want to take a break from Wheel of Time and have a month where I read like a lot of books because after I finished I picked up quite a few shorter books and I really enjoyed getting through like a bunch of them. And also it's been really difficult to like completely focus on things with the state of the world. So I definitely want things that are going to be more like quick paced to hold my interest. I would still call it an ambitious TBR, though the books on here are much shorter than last month. And actually there are some books in March that I didn't get to for my TBR that I'm also hoping to read in April if I can find the time. So first I'm going to show you two buddy reads that I'm planning in April. The first one is Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames. This I'm buddy reading along with Andrew and Alexa and Mackie. All four of us play Dungeons and Dragons together, and this series is very, very heavily inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. It's like an awesome campaign, basically. So all four of us really enjoyed the first book. Alexa and I actually buddy read the first book and then we convinced our husbands to read it, and we thought it would be fun to read the second one all together and then kind of chat about it once we finish. So really looking forward to reading this. It's actually a companion novel to the first one, so it's following a different set of characters. I don't really want to say anything about it because it's the sequel, so I don't want to spoil anything, but Kings of the Wild was one of my favorite books of last year and I really loved it. It's very humorous. The characters are incredible. They have such heartwarming moments, and it's also really quick paced and really held my attention. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one because I've actually heard that it's better than the first one. And then my other buddy read of the month is The Harp of Kings by Juliette Marillier. I'm also buddy reading this with Alexa and also with our friend Rachel. We're reading this as part of our Flights of Fantasy challenge for the year. It's actually a challenge that Alexa and Rachel had hosted in the past, and then they asked me to host it along with them or join in with them because it's not like a big scale thing like they used to do. It's more of like a personal challenge. So in addition to deciding on a certain number of fantasy books that we were going to read throughout the year, which I actually have to increase mine because I've been reading pretty much only fantasy, we also are doing seasonal picks. So each of us was assigned a season and we each got to pick a book that all three of us would buddy read together. So spring is Rachel, and Rachel chose Harp of Kings, and I'm really excited about this for two reasons. The first one being I've wanted to read a Juliette Marillier book forever. Like, she's probably the author that's been on my TBR the longest, literally years, and I just don't know why I keep not picking up something by her, even though so many of her books sound like things that I would really love. And the second reason I'm really excited is because this book follows bards, and I tend to really love bards. And this book follows a girl and her brother who both want to join an elite warrior band on Swan Island, and the two of them get assigned this mission to go and find a precious harp, which is an ancient symbol of kingship, and it's gone missing. It's imperative that they find it because the harp has to be played at the upcoming coronation, and if it's not played, the heir won't be accepted and their kingdom will pretty much just go into disarray. So this sounds like it's going to be really interesting. Then the most exciting book on my TBR by far is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Victoria Schwab. I was really lucky to get a copy of this early. I got to go to an event that Tor put on. It was like just right in the nick of time before the quarantine set in. So we went to this really cute little whiskey bar in the financial district, and Victoria was there and she talked to all of us about her new book, and I am so looking forward to reading this one. I've been talking about it for a really long time because I've been hearing Victoria talk about it for a really long time. So I've been so excited to read it. I cannot believe that I have a copy already. It doesn't come out until October, so it is one that is going to be a little while away until release date, but I just can't wait longer. Like, this is one of those drop everything and read it kind of books. This one follows a girl named Addie LaRue, and she makes a Faustian deal with the devil in 1714 in France. So basically she has immortality, except she's also cursed. So every single person that she meets never remembers who she is, like once she's out of their line of vision. The book follows her over lots of centuries and like globally all throughout the world, and she's kind of like changing things, but no one remembers who she is until one day she meets a guy in a hidden bookshop and he remembers her name and everything changes. I'm so excited, and they just did the cover reveal for this one and it's so beautiful, and I really like that it ties into a quote from the book. It's just gorgeous. Then I wanted to read something a little bit more on the fun side, and what could possibly be more fun than Han and Lando. This is pretty much like a buddy cop novel between Han and Lando. It takes place well after Return of the Jedi, so Han is already like kind of settled down with Leia, and Lando shows up on his doorstep because he's being pursued by assassins and he needs Han's help, otherwise everybody in Cloud City is in danger. So Han kind of reluctantly leaves and the two of them go out on another little excursion together, and I'm really excited because I love the interactions between the two of them, and I think it's going to translate really well into novel form. And there's also a woman in here who might be the love of Lando's life. I'm really curious to see what woman could capture the heart of Lando Calrissian, because he is such a like womanizing kind of character, so for him to actually fall in love with someone, my interest is piqued. Then I want to read The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. This is an Arthurian retelling and it's a gender-bent version, and we are following the Lady Guinevere. Also, this cover is just so beautiful. They just recently released the cover for the second book in the series, but that cover is equally beautiful, and that kind of reminded me that, oh yeah, I need to get to this book before the second one comes out. Next, I want to read Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. I've talked about this one pretty often over the past year, and I still haven't gotten to it, and I really want to. This is one of the series that I wanted to prioritize this year, so I thought no time like the present to start the first book. This one follows a girl whose mother goes missing, and she has to leave her finishing school and head to the City of Sin. So I think it's kind of like a fantasy version of Las Vegas, and she teams up with this guy, and the two of them are following clues and trying to find her mother, and then they also learn some secrets about, I think, both of their pasts. Things start catching up to them, and I'm pretty excited. It sounds like it's going to be really good. Then I have another arc that I want to get to, and that is Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. I've been so excited for this one. It doesn't come out until June of this year. The comp titles for this one are Phantom of the Opera and Moulin Rouge, both of which I really love. And it follows a girl named Kalia who's determined to become the world's greatest show magician. So she gets lured to the lost city of Glorian, where passion and chaos both drive her forward and threaten to consume her. And I just imagine that this is going to have very flowery writing and be very descriptive, and I'm really looking forward to a very atmospheric read. And then lastly, I would really like to read Shadow of the Batgirl by Sarah Kuhn. Jenna from Bibliofilth did a dedicated review to this graphic novel, and I instantly ordered it after watching that. She made it sound so good. It's following Cassandra Cain, and I'm really excited to read this one. I need to read more old Cassandra Cain stories too. She's actually the Batgirl that I probably have read the least of. My personal favorite Batgirl is Stephanie Brown, but DC Comics hates her, so she's likely not going to get her own little story of these. But I'm really excited to read this one, especially after Jenna's like glowing review. So definitely reading this in April. So those are all of the books that I'm planning on reading this month. Let me know if you read anything that I mentioned, and let me know what you're most excited to read in April. That's all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!